Caitlin Clark has done it again. The Iowa phenom just signed a jaw-dropping $1.13 billion deal with Wilson, and the jealousy in the WNBA locker rooms is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Wilson is making basketballs fly off the shelves faster than you can say triple-double, while the WNBA stars sit there biting na-s and envy.
Genuinely, why did SC take a whole decade to retire A'ja Wilson's number? How is that Iowa's fault? You think that you think they know when A'ja's getting her jersey retired? They 100% planned doing this for a year. There's a reason why they have a home game on the 2nd of February. This has been planned. I assume A'ja's retirement ceremony wasn't even a thought. I thought when Iowa, the Big Ten, and Fox Sports were scheduling things out. I genuinely don't think I didn't even know A'ja was getting her jersey retired.
Wilson Basketball just pulled off one of the most lucrative endorsement deals in sports history, teaming with Caitlin Clark to the tune of $13 billion. Yes, billion with a B. The brand isn't just banking on her star power, they're cashing in. Sales have soared as fans rush to buy basketballs with her name, her logo, and even her signature.
Carrington all over her. Clark eyes up. Boston one-on-one with Jones will flip it.
Just about basketballs, this is about you, the WNBA stars looking from the sidelines as Caitlin gets richer, while the rest of you scramble for crumbs. Wilson's leaders aren't stupid. They know Caitlin Clark is the biggest thing in basketball right now. Her electric three-pointers, her court vision, her swagger, she's everything you wish you could be. That's why they've poured billions into this relationship, and guess what it's paying off? Basketballs are selling out abroad. Wilson's stock is rising, and here's the kicker, they've even started rolling out a premium Caitlin Clark Elite line priced at $150 per ball, and fans, they're buying them by the tons.
It seems accurate if it takes 18 to 24 months. It does seem... One thing I'm a little bit surprised about, and I think is really annoying, is it seems that the signature shoe will be coming in 2026, which I actually don't think there's an issue in that, if we're being honest. I don't think there's an issue in that at all, because it does take time to develop a signature shoe. But it's like, it's too far away, 2026. She should have a P.
Caitlin Clark is out here breaking records, breaking hearts, and now breaking the bank. Meanwhile, you're stuck in a league where even the top players are underpaid and underrated. The envy must be eating you alive. Imagine watching Caitlin's highlight reels on ESPN, while knowing her deal with Wilson is worth more than the entire WNBA's income for the next decade. How does that feel? Cause let's face it, you're not getting these kinds of deals. Why? Caitlin, and not you. The answer is simple. Caitlin Clark sells. She's marketable, approachable, and most importantly unstoppable. Fans adore her, brands worship her, and her opponents fear her. You let's just say the same can't be said. Caitlin adds energy, excitement, and a fanbase that actually shows up. That's why Wilson picked her to be the face of their brand, while you, well, let's just say the calls aren't exactly flooding in. Caitlin's deal isn't just a win for her, it's a wake-up call for you and the WNBA.
Back to her, good ball movement. Samuelson's open, and she delivers with a three. Semi-Fag Benley checking in here, turns the corner on Stewart. Cross-court pass, Samuelson, a corner three. Clark, bounce pass, there's Boston.
The league has spent years ignoring its biggest problems: poor marketing, low fan interest, and underwhelming star power. Now Caitlin is thriving outside the WNBA system, and it's clear the league failed to capitalize on her promise. You had the chance to accept her, to build around her. Instead, she's building an empire, while the WNBA fights to stay relevant. Caitlin Clark's $13 billion deal with Wilson isn't just a milestone. It's a message, it's a reminder that real skill, charisma, and marketability can't be contained, and you're just going to have to watch from the bleachers as Caitlin takes over the world, $1 billion deal at a time. But how did Nike, the so-called king of basketball brands, make one of the biggest mistakes in sports marketing history? Caitlin Clark, the most marketable player of her age, doesn't have a signature shoe. Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, her jersey sales are breaking records, and yes, WNBA stars are resorting to racist remarks to explain how Nike dropped the ball and how Caitlin Clark is leaving everyone, including you, in the dust. Let's talk about Nike, a brand that prides itself on being the best in basketball. Here we are with Caitlin Clark putting up GOAT-level numbers, selling out stadiums and skyrocketing jersey sales, and somehow Nike still hasn't given her a signature shoe. How does that even make sense? It's not like Caitlin's charm is hard to see. She's a living highlight reel. Her three-pointers are Steph Curry level. Her court vision beats LeBron. She's everything you wish you could be, and yet Nike is asleep at the wheel. Caitlin Clark is a business gold mine. Her shirt sales are through the roof. Fans can't get enough of her, and let's not forget the millions of young players who look up to her. Nike had the chance to capitalize on all of this, and what did they do? Nothing. A Caitlin Clark signature shoe would have been a sure sellout, but instead Nike's rivals are circling like sharks. Brands like Adidas and Wilson see Caitlin's value, and then there's the WNBA stars.
Off to Mitchell, gets a clean look, and knocks it down. down.
That's where, because of her experience and maturity.
Nice look from Clark. And
Instead of celebrating Caitlyn's success, you're making excuses, racist statements, side-eye comments, and backhanded compliments. It's all coming out now, isn't it? But let's be honest, this isn't about Caitlyn's talent, it's about your fears. Caitlyn's success shines a spotlight on everything you haven't achieved. Instead of lifting her up, you're taking her down. News flash: the fans see right through it. Nike's mistake isn't just bad business, it's a slap in the face to every fan who wants to see Caitlyn Clark get the respect she deserves. The truth is, Nike's decision makers have failed to read the room. They underestimated Caitlyn's effect, and now they're paying the price. While Nike fails, Caitlyn is thriving. Wilson is selling basketballs with her name on them. Other brands are lining up. Des Signer and Nike, they're sitting on the sidelines watching their rivals cash in. Caitlyn Clark is more than a player, she's a cause. She's breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes, and showing that women's basketball can command the spotlight. And what's Nike doing? Absolutely nothing. If Nike can't see her worth, maybe it's time for Caitlyn to take her talents elsewhere. She needs a brand that believes in her, that will invest in her, and that will help her build a legacy. Nike fumbled the bag, and you WNBA stars are missing your chance to be on the right side of history. Caitlyn Clark isn't just the future of basketball, BB, she's the now. And while you're stuck making excuses, she's out here breaking records, inspiring people, and getting
racing around. Clark hits her. Boston ties it with the jumper.
She's got her legs and her ankles just fine.
Curl cut by Kelsey Mitchell from 15, and a lefty flicks it up and in.
Going downhill in transition right at the B.
Boston, bullet pass inside. Nneka standing her ground. Smith.
ISL run shows at just 22 years old, she's now the fourth most marketable player in the world, standing alongside legends like LeBron James and Lionel Messi. Let's look into how Caitlyn Clark is shifting the landscape of women's sports and showing the world why she's a force to be reckoned with. Caitlyn Clark's rise isn't just a feel-good story, it's backed by cold hard facts. She's a walking brand commanding millions of dollars in advertising while driving merchandise sales through the roof. Her jerseys are flying off shelves, her marketing deals are stacking up, and her social media following is growing at an exponential rate. Both young and old, I can't get enough of her.
Head on a swivel. We'll go threes.
Yeah, they do. Nice concept. What a pass.
And
Applause, applause. And it's not just basketball fans. Caitlyn's reach goes beyond sports into lifestyle, culture, and even philanthropy. Women's sports have been waiting for a great figure, and Caitlyn Clark is that and more. She's not just an athlete, she's a cause. Every buzzer beater, every behind-the-back pass, every game-winning shot is a reminder of her unmatched ability. What sets her apart? Her ability to connect. She plays with a swagger that says I belong, and fans believe it. She's proven that women's sports are just as exciting, just as popular, and just as profitable as the men's game. Being the fourth most marketable athlete in the world isn't just about skill, it's about effect. Caitlyn Clark's ability to transcend hoops makes her a brand's dream. She's authentic, relatable, and highly competitive. Went to the game to Asia Wilson. Nobody on Gu Havi on too much. Oh, back be like don't wait, transition defense. Such good. Jerson has recreated her body. She changed herself from a post in college to being a power forward in the WNBA. It's amazing how that they of her WNBA career as Clark gives it up to Smith, and she muscles that one up. Good companies are lining up to work with her because they know she resonates with fans, whether it's her relationship with Wilson, her community projects, or her ability to inspire young athletes. Caitlyn is creating a blueprint for what it means to be a modern sports icon. Let's not forget the importance of Caitlyn Clark being in the top 5 of the world's most marketable athletes. She's up there with global superstars who dominate billion-dollar businesses. With all of that said, the fact that a woman, a basketball player, and someone still early in her career is on this list says volumes about how she's shifting the perception of women's sports. Her participation isn't just a win for her, it's a win for every young girl dreaming of making it big in sports. The league has spent years ignoring its biggest problems: poor marketing, low fan interest, and underwhelming star power. Now Caitlin is thriving outside the WNBA system, and it's clear the league failed to capitalize on her promise. You had the chance to accept her, to build around her. Instead, she's building an empire, while the WNBA fights to stay relevant. Caitlin Clark's $13 billion deal with Wilson isn't just a milestone. It's a message. It's a reminder that real skill, charisma, and marketability can't be contained, and you're just going to have to watch from the bleachers as Caitlin takes over the world, $1 billion deal at a time. But how did Nike, the so-called king of basketball brands, make one of the biggest mistakes in sports marketing history? Caitlin Clark, the most marketable player of her age, doesn't have a signature shoe. Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, her jersey sales are breaking records, and yes, WNBA stars are resorting to racist remarks to explain how Nike dropped the ball and how Caitlin Clark is leaving everyone, including you, in the dust. Let's talk about Nike, a brand that prides itself on being the best in basketball.
Went to the game to Asia Wilson. Nobody else. Gustafson. Too much. Don't wait.
Transition defense.
Such good. Oh, Megan Gustafson has recreated her body. She changed herself from a post in college to being a power forward in the WNBA. It's amazing how that they doesn't have her WNBA career. As Clark gives it up to Smith, and she muscles that.